So Linda, thank you so much for coming on and doing this interview with me. To everyone that will be watching, this is Linda Robinson. She's a trainer with Accelerated Evolution. She's also, you call yourself a breakthrough coach?
Yeah, breakthrough transformational coach.
Yeah. So Linda is just amazing in what she does. She's really someone who has gone beyond what it even means to embody the practice and really lives an exceptional lifestyle and really embodies what she teaches. And that really inspires me. So you're someone who's really inspired me and taught me a lot. So I wanted to get you on here, do this interview so that, more people could learn from you, the work that you do and the work that we also do together. So thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Andrew. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah, awesome. So can you just maybe take like 5 to 10 minutes, share a little bit about your story, maybe some of the main challenges that you've been through and how you're able to grow through those challenges?
Sure.
Yeah.
So for me, there was a couple of pivotal things, I think, in my life.
Yeah.
One was the first real job that I had in Brooklyn, New York. I had just gotten married and started going to college in the evening and had a full-time job. I was riding the subway every day to and from work for an hour to get to work and all. And in my office, everybody hated it. It was just this environment where everybody was just sad and unfulfilled. And my immediate supervisor, all he would really talk about was his 2-week vacation to the Pocono Mountains that he would go to every year. He worked 50 weeks a year and had 2 weeks vacation to the Pocono Mountains. And that's all that came out of his mouth, was either that he was looking forward to going to it or discussing about that he just went. So it's 6 months of looking forward to it and 6 months of listening to his stories about being there.
Wow.
And I realized I was 19 years old, and I realized that this is no way to live. I really made a decision right then and there that this was not going to be my life. And I felt a lot of compassion for the people in the office who hated what they were doing, were too tired when they got home to be with their children and their family, that they had all the pictures of their children on their desk, but they never saw them.
Wow.
And all of that. And I said, you know what? If this is reality, I have to find a different way.
Yeah.
And so for me, at that point, it was really a catalyst for me to start researching. And I took about everything that there was to offer in those days, from meditation and yoga to EST to, all sorts of different introspective processes and different gurus and teachers. And I really was on a mission to find out how you can have it all in life. How you can have a fulfilling life without compromise, without having to compromise your relationships with your family so that you can make money to bring home, and not to compromise your self-care and your fitness and, all these areas that we are all interested in and would like to keep all these balls in the air. And it seems like they just keep dropping. And so this was my mission for many, many years, of really how to be able to have total freedom and joy in life without compromise. And so when I met Satyen, Satyen Raja, who's the founder of Accelerated Evolution Academy in Warrior Stage. And when I met him, I really wasn't even looking for another teacher at that point in my life. But somehow the things that he said in the intro that I went to just I really felt like I needed to work with this man. At that point in my life, my husband and I had kind of a humdrum existence. We were really in a rut. I was a realtor, and I was having a bit of a crisis with that because so many loan officers, I was doing loans and real estate, and so many loan officers were doing unethical practices and fudging people's income, and all of that stuff was happening. And I was wondering how I was going to compete if I was going to stay true to my values. And so I was in crisis. I was really in crisis with that. And I took a couple of Satchin's courses, the Path of the Warrior Sage at the time. And for one, and then also one of the courses was called Sex, Passion, and Enlightenment. And that just totally put my relationship on a totally different trajectory.
Beautiful.
My husband and I, from the point that we were at that time in the humdrums, all of a sudden became exciting again, passionate and alive. And we started enjoying each other even more than we did when we were first together. And we were able to connect in a way that was deeper and more aware and just more expanded. And so my relationship changed. My relationship with the work I was doing changed because I was able to be true to me and at the same time know that the services that I provided was valuable and that I was serving my clients, even though I didn't have to fall into the unethical practices and things that other people were doing. And so my life really just shifted for the better and started becoming really congruent with who I was, my values, and my essential core person.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I really wanted to hop on board with Sachin and firstly sign up for everything he had at the time. And then secondly, I wanted to be able to staff with him and learn from him and learn what it was that he was doing that felt so valuable to me in my life. It seemed to put, everything that I had been doing, because I'd been doing a lot and I knew a lot, but it wasn't fully implementable. It's like my life shifted, but it didn't shift in quantum leaps. It just shifted in progress. And once I started doing the work with Sachin and Warrior Sage, my life started shifting in quantum leaps. And all the stuff that I'd already learned was immediately implementable to me. And my life just changed dramatically. So at this point, you alluded to it, but at this point, it's like I really have a life that's totally filled with freedom and joy and financial security and independence. And whatever it is that I want to do, I do, regardless of the circumstances, the conditions, COVID, restrictions. It's like somehow I'm able to just live the life that I want in total freedom and joy. And it's been a lifetime pursuit and passion for me. And so that's something that I feel very strongly about. And my heart breaks when I see people not. And so that's my mission in the world.
It's to serve other people to live in their own congruence.
Yeah, and to be able to have a life of total freedom and joy without compromise. And never have to say, I can't do this because of this.
Yeah.
And all those limiting beliefs that we have that seem so real, but aren't.
Yeah, and it's simple, but it's so powerful the way you put it. Live the life that you want to live without compromise. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you made that choice early on when you're 19 and you're observing all these people in such a state of compromise because they felt like they're doing what they have to do.
Mhm.
And still today, of course, there are millions, maybe billions of people out there doing that as
Yeah.
well. And even though it seems simple, it's also very challenging for a lot of people. So it's inspiring when, to hear from someone like you who's lived it, who's been through a lot in life, and you still said, no, I'm going to live with freedom and joy without compromise. And over the years, just continuing that cultivation and that eagerness sounds like that's what just continued to drive you forward. Your career, your relationship. I mean, those are two things that people probably struggle with the most, right? Finance, career, and their intimate relationships.
Mhm.
And you stepped on a path that really brought health and vitality and freedom and joy to both of those things.
Yeah. And one of the things that really drives me and that I really help inspiring my clients is looking at our life at the end of our life. And it's like, I really want to be able to look back at my life and feel, people are using this term these days, living my best life. I really want to look back at the end of my life and have no regrets. And so I'm really living a regret-free life on a daily basis so that when it comes to the end of my life, there's no regrets and that I know that I lived my best life and that I was alive and lived it to the fullest in happiness and health and joy. And that's the kind of catalyst that I am for my clients and for the people that I serve, is to have that sort of awareness in themselves to really live each day to the fullest that way, to be able to look back at our life and have that sort of viewpoint.
And that's so powerful too, just what you're speaking about and what you're speaking to. There can be in the media, there's a lot of this like teaching of sort of a superficial freedom and happiness, where if you just get all the good things for yourself, you'll go get to be free and do whatever you want. But a true freedom, true joy, a true sense of fulfillment and wholeness within yourself, when you experience that, obviously you just want to live in that, but there's also just a natural desire to reach out and support others in uplifting others to live that as well. So that's what I
Yeah,
see you doing, right? And that's,
yeah. Well, I think that, everybody wants to make a contribution. I think
yeah,
it's built in. We're interconnected beings. And, whether we experience it fully or not, we're interconnected beings as the human race. And we have it in us to want to make a contribution, to want to leave a legacy, to want to make a mark, to want to, inspire others or be of service in some way. And so, there's something that's inherently fulfilling in that.
yeah. Another powerful piece to your story, just from knowing you, is you came through addiction as
Mhm.
well, and you've been able to recover and grow and heal through addiction. Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, I was kind of a dichotomy because while I was doing all of this personal growth work, I was also being self-destructive.
Hmm.
And so, I kind of had one foot in life and one foot in the grave. And, I laugh about it now, but at the time, I mean, I was pretty powerfully addicted to drugs. And, it was really taking over my entire life for a long time. And I got into recovery. I've been clean now for 28 years and got into recovery at that point. And I still actually go to 12-step meetings and am active in recovery and all along with all this other spiritual work and personal growth work that I do. And so I have a really fond heart for people who are suffering with any sort of addictive tendencies or self-destructive behaviors.
What would you say to someone who's kind of in that space? They're still struggling with their addiction, but they have that eagerness, that desire to heal, come through that addiction. And what are some of the main points you would give to someone who's looking to heal and to get
Well,
past
I gotta say that the first point is abstinence. It's like, if that takes going to a 12-step group or going to a detox or going to some sort of treatment facility, to pull yourself out of your normal everyday world where, you're drinking every day, or you're overeating every day, or you're, gambling your family's savings away, or whatever. The first step is abstinence. I mean, I tried to do it without stopping. I tried every single way to do it without stopping.
Mm.
And life really only started getting better once I stopped. And so that's the first point, is however you need to do it, you need to stop and withdraw from those addictive behaviors. The rest of it is working on self-love. It kind of sounds like a no-brainer, but a lot of those addictive behaviors is because we don't feel that self-love.
Yeah.
And self-worth. And we have these core issues and core beliefs that we're not enough. And so we have to fill it with something. And so that's a lot of the work. And I really am a firm believer in the 12 steps, along with a program like accelerated evolution processing, the things that really do dissolve the emotional charges and the wreckage. You would call it in the 12-step program, the wreckage of your past. And we carry the wreckage of our past with us. And that's why our present doesn't seem to go the way we want it to. There's a stuckness.
Yeah.
There's those patterns. There's the self-defeating prophecies and all of that. And so healing all of that. The wonderful thing about accelerated evolution is that you don't have to go into your childhood or into your past or anything like that. You can heal it all and dissolve all of the emotional charge and the baggage that goes along with it by working on what's present for you now.
Yeah.
And so it's quite brilliant because, I was in a lot of therapy, and a lot of like treatment groups and therapy and all of that. And like I said, progress. But once I started with accelerated evolution, it's like quantum leaps. It's the difference between a linear progression and chutes and ladders,
I know as soon as I started working with the AE methods and processes, it was like everything I had done in the past was now greatly improved and simplified, and it's just so much more direct and to the point. Like you said, in the 12 steps programs, they talk about bringing the wreckage of your story with you. In AE, that's the same thing as we call it the charge. Like you said, you have that charge from the past that you're experiencing now. And it's so powerful the way we have the ability to completely eliminate the charge we experience now in regards to those things in the past. We can't take away that those things in the past happen, but we can completely clear the charge around it now. So I'm so grateful for that. And then I've had multiple clients that come to me and said, I've been doing this yoga for years. I've been doing this therapy for years. And I came to you and I did a few sessions, and these things I've been working on for a few years, in a few sessions, it's like, it's cleared. I'm not carrying that weight anymore. I feel so free. And so and that gives me more like the most fulfillment when I see that in other people. And there's those quick changes where they're like, I've been trying to do this for like 10 years. And finally I'm free from that. And I can see it in them. The weight is not on them anymore. That shadow is not on them anymore. It's
That's
so
great. That's great, Andrew. It's just so fulfilling, right?
it's so fulfilling. So I'm
Yeah.
grateful to you and our team for, all that I've been able to learn and contribute to. So.
Yeah, so talking about accelerated evolution, we just talked about one piece of it is that it helps dissolve the emotional charge, right? And the inner conflicts and relieves and dissolves the problems. So that's one piece.
Yeah.
Another piece is it helps us achieve our goals and our aspirations. And so that's the second piece. And then it also helps us connect spiritually, whatever that means to each of us, to be able to expand into and connect to others in a real interconnected, like an interconnected way, and also expand and feel divinely inspired. And so, I really appreciate all three of those aspects of accelerated evolution, because we really accelerate people's evolution in all of those three areas. Reach your goals, resolve your problems, connect more spiritually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I think I wrote it down recently. It was healing and integration, goal attainment, spiritual evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And just we go through those three layers in the work that we do, and it creates that fulfillment and that strength and that equilibrium. Excuse me. I had a cold, so my voice is still recovering. That equilibrium in every area of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, tell us more about the work that you do now. Is there anything else you could share about the work that you do now and the way you work with your clients?
Um, most of my clients are other coaches that are looking to really monetize their business, who have recently gotten into it but really never taken off. And I really help people find their way of doing it, their way of marketing, not like, oh, I have to do social media, or I have to do this, or you have to send out this report, or, it's like, what's your way of doing it? And who are your clients? And, all of these questions that are really specific to the person. What makes your soul sing? What makes you feel fulfilled? What breaks your heart when you see it in other people? When you see them suffering in this way, what breaks your heart? What is it that you want to inspire in them? And so I work with a lot of coaches. And I also work with relationships with couples. That's another real area for me that's really close to my heart, is seeing couples be able to just dissolve the stack ups. We call it stack ups. It's like, you have a resentment and you let it go and you don't communicate and you walk away, and then you have another one, and then you have another one, and then your feelings get hurt, and then this, and then the next thing you know, you explode for seemingly almost no reason. And the next thing that happens is this loving couple goes to, I think I fell out of love, or they don't see the same connection. And so that breaks my heart too. And so I really want to help couples, or I do help couples, dissolve those stack ups and be able to come back into love, and to be able to feel like they're new again, feel that brand newness that me and my husband got to experience after doing some of this work. And it's just, the ripple effect in people's lives. It's like, I just always look at that. It's like, how does healing one thing ripple effect into everybody's life? everybody that knows them, and the coaches. It's like everybody that they're going to serve. What's the ripple effect? And so that's always very fulfilling to me. So I work with coaches, I work with people with relationships, and I really work with people who do want to have it all, that know it's possible, see my lifestyle and get inspired by my lifestyle, and kind of, in the 12-step program, you pick a sponsor because you want what they have. There's something about them that you want. And I find that that's a lot of what happens to me with clients, is that they want what I have because I have such a free lifestyle and I just travel all the time and do what I want and scuba dive and have this loving relationship and just feel really free. And so, people kind of want that, and they say, okay, great, let's partner up and get that.
Beautiful. Yeah. Can you share? I know you talk a lot about, you love your personal trainers, and you do your kickboxing and your exercise, and you travel and you go scuba diving.
Yeah.
Can you share, would you be comfortable sharing with us how young you are and what you love to do just for fun?
Sure. I'm 68 and I'm using. So, it's pretty incredible because my physical age does not, it does not even compute that I would feel anywhere near that. And I also don't think I look that. So, I look younger, I feel younger. And my lifestyle is that, my personal trainer tells me sometimes that, he trains like this group of 30-year-olds that I know also. And he says that they can't keep up with me. So it's pretty incredible, the kind of energy that I have, and what I like to do for fun, is mostly a lot of physical stuff. And I didn't mention this, but a few years ago, my husband died. And, about a year after that, once my heart kind of settled with that grief and all, I decided I was open for a new relationship. And I found a guy, and we have the greatest, fabulous, relationship. We have wonderful sex life. And, he's 12 years younger than me. And we travel together, have great communication, so much fun. Everything we do is fun. And yeah, that's, I have a pool in the backyard. And to me, just going outside my backyard and jumping in the pool and going swimming is just a joy. Working with my clients is a joy. There's really nothing in my life that isn't a joy to me. And even when my husband was dying and I was his sole caretaker for 2 years. Well, my daughter helped some too. She'll probably hear this, so I really want to make sure I put that in. My daughter did help some, but I was his main caretaker. And even during that time, I didn't feel constricted. I didn't feel like my freedom was constricted. I still felt like I was doing what I wanted to do. It's like I was being this loving, doting wife that was making sure that the person that I was with for 40 years left this earth feeling loved and not feeling like a burden, and feeling like there was no regrets. I wasn't going to have the last couple of years of his life him feeling like he was burdening me. It was all a sacred time of taking care of this love that I had with him for 40 years and being able to serve and give him the best quality of life he could have while he was going through that dying process. I look at it all that way. I just want to be alive through it all. I just want to feel it all. And I want to be inspiring to others through it all. And I want to love.
Well, Linda, you're such a kick-ass, wonderful, loving, awesome person. And I really appreciate you taking the time to just share some of your story, share the work that you've done, share the work that you do now and the life that you live now. It's really an inspiration to me, and I know a lot of other people. If somebody wanted to work with you, how could they reach out to you? How could they connect with you?
My website is awakeningtotruth.com, all spelled out. My email is linda@awakeningtotruth.com. And I'm happy to connect with anyone that resonates with this and feels inspired to have a chat.
Beautiful. And one of the main themes I heard you speak about through this interview as well is, you only said the actual words self-love maybe once or twice, but that's essentially what you were speaking about the whole time. People around addiction, taking themselves away, having that abstinence, taking themselves maybe out of the environment where that addiction was taking place, and then growing their self-love. It seems like that's probably the same thing for in that work environment where you feel like you're just compromising every day because you feel like you have to make ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the first step is removing yourself from that environment and developing self-love.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then stepping into those things, those practices, being around communities of people that help stoke and grow and support that self-love and that are living by example.
Yeah.
So,
they say in the 12-step program, it's an inside job. And so that's the way I look at it. It's like anytime a client starts blaming others, of course, I listen to them vent for a moment, but I don't see people as victims. And so it's all an inside job. It's like, how are we contributing to the situation? And what do we need to do in self-love and self-responsibility in changing our own patterns to have it go differently? And so those are the important things. And you had mentioned to me something about, speaking to people or others, especially during this time in life and all. And what I would really say to everybody is every single one of you is a leader. And look at how what you're doing is impacting others. It's like the ripple effect. It's like every time we're in fear, every time we're contracted, every time we shut down and don't live who we really are, all of that stuff ripples to our family, to our children, to everyone around us. And then when we take responsibility and we enter into our own sovereignty and our own leadership and our own responsibility and taking actions that are serving, that ripples out into the world and into everybody that we know and everyone we touch. And so what sort of legacy, do you want to leave for yourself? What influence do you want to have been in your society? And it's like, have that be one of the grounding forces in your actions. How is this impacting others? How is this impacting my children, my husband, the people in my society? And then what can I do? What can I do to really be the leader that I am?
Well, thank you for that. I know I'll take those questions and those intentions to heart, and I hope that everyone else who listens to this does as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Andrew. It's really been a joy.
Yeah, and thank you, Linda. And I feel like even through this, I got to know you a little bit better, know a little more about your story. Mm-hmm. And I just really appreciate you taking the time to share and to share the wisdom and just the embodiment that you shared here today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. I'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day.
You too, Andrew.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you got value out of this video, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and make sure you click the bell so that you get notifications for the next videos that we put out. We've got a lot of amazing content, videos, and interviews coming up, so you'll definitely want to get the notifications because we're interviewing some amazing people. We've got a lot of cool things happening, so you're going to want to make sure you get those notifications. And then you can also follow Embody the Practice on Facebook and Instagram. You can also go to my website, embodythepractice.com. You can contact me. You can learn more about the coaching that I offer and learn more about how we can support you to live a greater life of strength, health, and happiness in all areas of your life. So I look forward to connecting with you more. And until next time, stay strong, stay resilient, and stay healthy out there.